Sony is finally talking about their new PS5 controller, which is incredibly expensive, but does seem to have some pretty premium features. I want to take a look at this thing because the DualSense Edge is $200, and a lot of people are sort of stuck on the price because this is a very big price tag for what is basically an improved version of this. But let's take a look at the details. What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here. Hi, hope you're having a great day. If you could like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. So this morning, they announced the DualSense Edge is coming to the PlayStation 5 on January 26th. There is going to be pre-orders opening up next week. I'm probably going to buy this just to review it. But I guess I was most interested when I first saw it to see this trailer because it does sort of show the fact that, honestly, I love the way they CG their own controllers. It has customizable buttons on the back. You can swap out the sticks, which I think is pretty interesting. Replaceable modular. So basically what that means is that, obviously we've had problems with stick drift. If you play a lot of PS5 games like I do, eventually these sticks, the springs inside it seem to wear down. We've got some changeable back buttons here, so this is actually kind of interesting. You can program these as well, so these are back flippers, so you can program it. This is just so interesting. All this little stuff, adjustable trigger stops and dead zones. So what this means is essentially if you're playing something like here, they're showing a first-person shooter, you can make it where instead of actually having to pull all the way down to shoot, you can just make it like a single centimeter. It actually improves. I've tested it. This does improve your reaction and shooting time in a lot of FPSs if you're trying to be like tournament Call of Duty. It does do some interesting stuff. I mean, it does improve your shooting speed. Look at this, turn, stick, density, and dead zones. This controller is definitely better. This controller is definitely better. Other than that, it is, obviously just a PS5 controller. I do want to take a look at their features list here, though, because along with being a very cool carrying case it comes in, I do kind of love this. It seems like the whole point of this is trying to sell it towards the premium audience. There have been these test demographic studies that just came out a couple years ago that sort of blew my mind, that showed that people enjoy premium gaming products. These things do not sell incredibly well, but, a normal PS5 controller is $70. This thing being $200 is what, 2.8 times the cost? There is a weird group of people, I guess weird isn't the correct term, but there are gamers that love to buy the most expensive version of each gadget. If you can buy a PS5 Pro, then they love to buy that just to get that tiny bit of extra power. If you can buy a controller that lets you program buttons to be better at Street Fighter or shoot quicker in Call of Duty, they will always buy it. That is part of the success of things like these. This is called the SCUF. A lot of subscribers have sent me the SCUF controller details and stuff because it really is a better controller objectively, but it also comes at a much higher cost. These often range in the $300 at the lowest end for this controller that again is just better sticks, better triggers, and better programmable buttons. So them coming in at $200 is cheaper than that. Now, of course, we are talking about American price. So here, $200 USD. It sounds like this thing is probably going to be close to like $250 in Australia. A little bit of a big old leap. I guess my thought is that as cool as this is, it's certainly not for everybody. I do want to just be clear here. All console controllers seem to have these upper end expensive versions. Like right here, this is a new customizable Xbox Elite controller for the Xbox Series X, the Series S, and PC. That thing is $150. And to me, this doesn't even seem to have any extra features. It is just literally the slightly better controller with the cool, weird inverted D-pad and customizable colors. And even that's very pricey. The DualSense Edge is definitely aiming towards that premium product connoisseur, the people that don't mind dropping almost triple the price to get triple the quality. I guess I'm most specifically curious about how much it's going to improve my performance. I get a lot of platinum trophies. I do enjoy trying to be the best at games and fail horribly at it. It's kind of fun though to try and, always push the edge using the DualSense Edge. The detail of this, though, that kind of crosses my mind the most, though, is that replaceable joysticks. The DualSense controllers have had a little bit of drift issues. Not as bad as the Joy-Con drift, which has been, in my opinion, unforgivably bad. Obviously, Nintendo has been sued over how bad their controllers are quality-wise. But even I, just using my controllers for the last 2 years, I have had a PS5 controller already die on me. And that sucks. I mean, these are very, very expensive things. I have 4 controllers now. I guess technically I'm about to have a 5th because I did pre-order the God of War Ragnarok controller, but still, like, how much can we really improve on a design that, in my opinion, is already so great? I'm curious what you guys think about it. I'm very curious, though, as to your thoughts about this. Will you be buying the DualSense Edge? Is this something that really interests you, or does this just seem like a big old price tag for a tiny bump in performance? I must admit, I'm surprised, but I did tweet about this when I first saw it revealed, and a ton of people have already been replying to me that they are going to buy it. I have seen a lot of people saying, okay, I paid $500 for the console itself. I want to make sure I have every single tiny advantage I can in playing games on hard mode. And I do think it's interesting about the idea of the programmable buttons. I could make a special reload combo animation or something like that when I'm playing the Resident Evil remake, or make it so I have an extra trigger for stomping on faces in the Dead Space remake. I'm interested, I'm open-minded, and I'm definitely going to buy it for review purposes. But to be perfectly honest, if I wasn't a YouTuber, I don't think I'd buy this. I do think this is for a very rich demographic that I definitely do not fit in. But tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big old thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all, and keep dreaming. Also, speaking of things that are very, very overpriced, I decided to buy a $600 arcade cabinet for Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Go watch that video because it's definitely the most expensive thing I've pretty much ever bought. But it's also really good. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.